all getting it completely wrong. You know, the police were doing nothing and all the rest of it. And I was like, these are all talking shit. These guys are up there constantly. And I was like, and that was, I mean, Tenerife's my home. And it's like, he's just slagging it off.
We got that, Del, but obviously Luggy and I were on a job, yeah? I was up there with good intentions, trying to retrace the steps of Jay, and I got to a certain point where I needed experts with a little bit more help and influence to help me, because I was getting to the point where it was becoming dangerous for me. And we never deviated. Correct me if I'm wrong, Luggy. We never deviated from the facts. We never listened to the conspiracy theories. We never our attentions to be diverted. We believed that boy was lost in a mountain and that family was suffering the most horrendous torture because the official authorities had given up search. Having asked amateurs like myself, not Luggy, myself, to go up there and help. So we just responded to a call from a professional organisation like the Guardia Civil. I'd gone up there, done my research, and when Luggy and I started to work together, I mean, this is the great thing about social media. You get critical mass. You start to connect with like-minded people with the same purpose and the same intention. And I could not have done what I did, which was a small part, on that day, on that recce up there, if it wasn't for Luggy. And Luggy, correct me if I'm wrong again, pal, you laid the map down and you said to me, Chris, we've got to prove a point. We've got to prove it was possible. Jay got to a certain point. Go as far as you can go, but do not risk your health, safety, or life to do it. If ever you feel in danger, you call me, you radio me, get in touch with Adrian if I've got no signal by radio. Adrian could have got in touch with you, and at that point, we prove the point and we get out.
Can I just say something, Chris, please, if you don't mind?
Yes.
I just want to say, and I've been criticised for everything at the moment, but I can tell you something, that my mods and my followers and everyone will tell you that all I did was I had an open forum for people to discuss what was going on, you know, and I had my theory. I thought he would have been taken and he would be found and all that. That was my theory. You know, and I would go and look at the media and use the media and stuff like that, you know?
Well, sorry, it's Mr. Sherlock, no?
It's Sherlock, yeah.
Look, everyone's entitled to a theory. But what we did is we stuck to the facts, and we're both military guys, certainly on the ground.
By the way.
We stuck to the facts, we risked our lives to do what we were doing, and we did it to prove a point.
I'm military myself.
Adrian and Chris are military, and I'm just a dad of 2 kids, a dopey dad of 2 kids, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. But the point was, if you look at what our team did, we did it with integrity, dignity, we did it with professionalism, and our sole purpose was to help relieve the anguish that family was suffering by trying to help find the boy that we believed we knew where he was, and that was in the mountain. So we blocked out all that noise. We focused on our job. We worked together as a team. And I think to some degree, we achieved some success, and it couldn't have been done without Luggy. I mean, Luggy's been, for me, a friend above and beyond. He's like a brother, and he was there watching my back. He was there guiding me. He really put all the effort and the planning into exactly the intentions that we were trying to do. So we can sit here and talk about trolls every day, but the more attention we give them, the more power we're giving them. Exactly. I honestly think, Del, the more we can shut them, stick to the truth, then we take their power away from them. Honestly, that's my
exactly what I've told Chris. Yeah, ignore them.
The thing is what people don't realise is, even as a youngster, even as an adult, when you got drink in you, and if there's a possibility of other substances, things which are at great height look very small to you in that frame of mind. You don't realise big drops and big challenges ahead of you because you look at things in a different mindset.
So, Chris, just tell them briefly how me and you met.
Luggy and I got in touch with each other through mutual respect. I think Luggy, correct me if I'm wrong, mate, you saw the intentions and the way we were conducting ourselves, and with your expertise, you could add to what we were doing. Not only add to it, but in the end, actually direct it. There was. I can't say this clearly enough. With what we did together, there was a very clear strategy, and the strategy was shut the noise. If we could achieve our objective as quick as possible, we can shut out the noise to stop that family suffering any more unnecessary suffering. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lee.
Right, okay, so if everyone just leave me speak, and I'll just take you from where Chris just left off. So what happened is, all those, if any of you actually followed me, you'll know where I was at this point. So at this point, I'd clearly mapped out multiple different directions that Jay could possibly taken if he went down the Lopez ravine, okay? So what I looked at is, look, it's if he's crossing and he's going east down towards that coast. If he comes through the end of the V-notch and he can't get through it, he realises and he doubles back. You see, what you've got to think of is that anyone on the ground, okay, being tracked, they're going to move forward, but they're heading down. They're heading towards the coast. Now, what gets in their way? Oh, hang on, there's a pile of bushes. So what do you do at the bushes? Do you go under it? Do you go over it? Do you go round it? Well, you're trying to get down, so no matter what, you're going to do one thing or the other. That might involve having to climb around the top of a rock and round it and drop down on the other side. There we are, past that pile of bushes. Do you get what I'm saying, right? So you are heading down. So when I planned out all the different possible routes, one of them included not going down the ravine. That was coming to it and going, I can't go that way, it's too dangerous, find another way. So I plotted, and I even said, look, he might have made the beach. That is if he found that left-hand path, okay? But I don't think he would make it down there without GPS because he'd get lost, right? So it was very debatable whether or not he would actually make the beach. Now, with the 3 ping data that we had from the mountain rescue team, who said it was undeniable that he was in 1, 2, or 3 of these ravines. That's why we've gone and searched all 3 of them. Yeah? They said the Lopez, Arnes, what's the other one now? Corrales.
Retama.
Ratama. And the Ratama and the Lopez will actually meet each other at the bottom in the boulder field, see? So, with that information that he might have been seen in the Retama and the Lopez, in my mind, it's like, well, what if he did make it down? He tried to turn his phone on, and that's why they got these extra pings. And because the Retama and the Lopez actually meet each other, okay? Mm-hmm. So the chances are he may have got down to that point and didn't know whether to go right or left because it's such high-sided. You know, you sort of hemmed in by really high mountains, and it's like, but you are down almost at sea level, sort of. But he's still hemmed in, so it's like, right, do I go left or right here? Well, he wouldn't have seen the coast at this point. Do you get it? Originally, he was seeing the coast. So I mapped out all the different possible options, and it's like, right, so what if he did get to the beach, and then he gets to the beach, and he's like, right, okay, I can't get in the water. I got my phone. Well, I'll turn back. Or hide my phone and sod it. I'll just go in the water and just creep along rocks here, coastal steering. So that was the options that I laid out. Sorry, I'm not sure what that is. My phone made a noise. So I just mapped out different options, okay? So basically, if you get, one of them little things you roll a ball around inside them, they're like a maze, yeah? A maze? But the maze, can you all hear me, yeah? Yeah. So a maze, that noise again. Anyway, a maze has got an objective, and the objective is to get this ball to a certain point in the maze, okay? Now, when you go down the maze, you keep hitting these little barriers, and you have to go back, and you have to go again, blah, blah, blah. Well, you look at that ravine, and it's exactly the same thing. All right, so you're looking at the ravine in a total different way than anybody else who's actually looking at it, and that is, you're going to look at it and say to yourself, right, what's the barriers in you? What's the direction? What's the intent? Well, the intent is to go to sea. So if the intent is to go down,
Can I
direction is
just
down. So basically, I keyed out all them. So I also knew on a political level, okay, that Civil Guard had made out a statement, and that was, right, that's it, we stopped searching on this particular day. But one question was popped to him, and that was, can you make it to the beach or coast? And he said, yeah, well, you can make it down. And he made that statement. When he made that statement, obviously I analysed it. When I analysed it, it's like, well, in the middle of that statement, you're saying you did not go and search all of them ravines. And that's what we come to. So to cut it short, because my time is limited, I need to go. I need to go sleep. Where was I? Sorry, someone remind me just where I was there.
Basically, you got to the point that you figured out through what they had stated that they had to do.
Yeah. So in my mind, I planned out basically the options of where he would be on the ground. Okay? Listen to the Civil Guard guy. Civil Guard guy gives it about the, we searched it, blah, blah, we used this, that, and the other, and it turned out to be a lie, what he said, right? A twisted way of propaganda, basically, in the way media to try to spin doctor things.
He did it with the resources that he had. Yeah.
So, in my mind, it's like, wait a minute, you've just had the Civil Guard with what they've just claimed to be this, that. Read it, it's all on my TikTok. Right. But if they've used all that and not found this lad, okay, partly because there's a lot of noise on that island, and the noise is distracting their investigation, which should be focused on the original problem, and that is he's walked off.
Correct.
Yeah? Instead, they waffled on themselves between each other. Oh, hang on a minute. The old Globe is hating them at the moment, saying that they're ripping off a GoFundMe. He shot off on a boat. Someone's watch has been sold to buy the boat. The fuel came from Pedro, who was also a peddler of bent watches. And there was a cafe lady, and she was somewhere involved with supplying batteries.
He's not James Bond.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It goes on and on and on. And in my TikToks, when I was making TikToks and showing you, look, this is the evidence, right? This is what happens. This is how you track someone, blah, 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 blah. I was getting these haters, right? So this is a triple-pronged attack, right? First, I need to go against the government and a highly powered machine, right? And tell them tell them to go back down there and search that ravine. So to do that, we need a political element, and that is that if their search machine could not find it, then you only need to put someone where that Civil Guard guy said you couldn't get to, and the political element is get in there. So what happens, as I said, think to myself, right, well, Chris is there. Chris is a soldier, ex-soldier. He knows what he's doing on the ground. He can listen to instruction. He can listen to plan. He can listen to sense. So I contacted him and I sent him, right, you think about it. He's got 40,000 subs or whatever you call it, on his followers or whatever you call it. I know subs because it's a YouTube world for me. I've only been on here just to, but you know, all the people on my account, 800 of them are friends from YouTube, friends from around the world, friends I've known for like 20 years, right? So when I come on, I only come on because they're all on it. So I come on and I put a few videos on, send them to my friends and all that, you know, a bit of nature, you know, just a bit of fun, like. Not to make money, so I don't need to use TikTok to make money. Anyway, so end of that. So where was we again? Take me back, 'cause I'm tired and I need to sleep.
There's a key thing on that search which horrified me.
Yeah, what's that?
Really horrified me.
Oh,
and
sorry,
if you remember it, at this point in time, Jay had his phone, right? So he would have had access to Google Maps and other maps. Now, it's plausible he went up to the Mirador. Again, Luggy, correct me if I'm wrong and stop me if you want.
To the Mirador from Moscow, yeah. Uphill, windy road.
Once, and he's had the phone call with Brad. He took a shortcut and he suffered some damage. Yeah, which I've been through and I've suffered damage myself.
between the bed
Yeah.
and breakfast and between the top of the lookout point, right? The road doesn't go straight up, but it's very steep. But the road meanders like a river. It wiggles round, 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 round to reduce the angle of attack up that hill. So it makes it longer than it really is over ground. But Jay was quick on his feet. He's a footballer. Wang, off he went. So go on, Chris. Sorry, picking up.
And 19 years.
Once I'd
19
actually,
years old.
once I'd mapped out what I thought he'd done, okay, which was a logical thing that somebody would have done in that situation. A young kid at his age, anyway, with not the experience that I've got. With the experience I got,
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't have left. I would have been like, hey, huh, what time you getting at? Because I'm stopping on a sofa until you do. There's absolutely no way you'd see me jumping on no bus, that's for sure. But these kids, it's a different lifestyle for them, isn't it? For me, if I was over there, I'd have my own 4x4 car hired and, you know, top of the range thing sitting outside. So it's a different life to me now. But I got to think of a 19-year-old kid. So what I did is, I see Chris is absolutely busy. He's got 40,000 subs. I know his inbox is lit up, okay? So how do you contact this soldier out there? I knew the political element and how to force the government. So the one way to force the government was to get hold of Chris. So I sent Chris a message, and the message was very simple. It said something like, Chris, I know you're absolutely inundated with messages. Will you have a quick look at this particular video? And I think I pointed him to one of mine. He looked at it, he scanned through everything I had. Following day, called up to me and said, that's the best I've seen on TikTok yet. So we got speaking. And I explained everything that Chris knows now, okay, about Jay's thinking, about everything that I had in my mind. I transferred from mine in one day into Chris's mind. So Chris could take it on floor, do you get it? Boots on ground, and go and rerun exactly what I transferred from my mind to Chris's mind. Yeah? And this is the beauty of him being a soldier, that he can take in this information, understand it, and rerun it across a part of a terrain, which is what was absolutely golden with him. He was able to start pretty much down a hill and work his way up, going through every key point that I'd given him, stopping with his camera and recording it and going, look, Luggy, what you're saying is right. And when I get here, what you said is right. And look at the camera view. The camera view, it exposes exactly what you said would be exposed on that top road, causing him to take a shortcut. So Chris could see 100% that there was 100% method, logic, behind the plan. So Chris went along then the following day to prove the point. Now, the point is this. If Chris can stand in the V-notch with a video showing the whole route that I have said and why, that would force Civil Guard to make a move. Now, what no one actually knew is, yes, there is contact between me, Chris, and there is contact between other things going on in Tenerife. We knew that there was Sydney coming in. We knew that the Slaters were
You don't know what Sydney is, mate.
And also what happened is they released that information the very night that Chris walked out of that ravine. Do you get that? So basically what happened to Civil Guard is they got threatened twice. They thought Chris might have been going back in the following morning because they didn't know mine and Chris's plans.
Correct.
So to them, me and Chris may have been planning a second recce for the next day. And if that had happened, what would have happened? What would have happened is a guy sitting in his own country, in his ops room, say, right, where all his computers are. Then you've got two soldiers in a foreign country that walk up and go, oh, there he is, yeah? Now, how does that make their government look? And how does it make Civil Guard look? And how does it make the search dog teams that they claim they use, the helicopters, the drone teams, the specialists for the dogs, the specialists for this dogs, the firefighters, the mountain rescue teams, the search and rescue teams, the different... Do you see all the different sectors?
Yeah. Basically, it makes them look dumb and unprofessional, really.
So if Chris... I said to Chris, all you need to do is go and stand in the V-notch and watch how fast Civil Guard react to what you've done, and they will be immediately in there behind you. Now, Chris has got these recordings from before he walked in that V-notch.
Correct.
What we also knew, and I've got them too, what we also knew, okay, was way before he stood in our V-notch, that they were watching my account, his account. We ain't stupid, and even the detectives said it on TV. It's okay. We're watching all the accounts, and one of them said that broadcast, or they should be watching all your accounts. He was bluffing, and the other one turned around and told the truth, and he went, "No, they are watching all your accounts." Now, if you listen to Civil Guard's latest, they tried to lie again. After I caught him out on the first one, which was, "Oh no, you can't get down there." Well, you underestimated Jay, and he did, right? Now you could have had him out of there day one rather than fanny around like you did, all right? Desecrate him, all right? And absolutely desecrate his family at the same time, because look what's happened to them. The public hated them. So what we going against? If we go on TikTok, what happens? What happens? What do you think happened to me? I thought to myself, right, if I go into TikTok and I say to someone in a room full of 20,000 subs, nah, he didn't steal a what? What's going to happen? Shut me down, block me, stop me speaking, instantly, yeah? Okay, so there is a way around you all. And that is that I've got 20 years experience on you all. That is online social media, but not TikTok in particular. TikTok doesn't run any different to any other social media platform. And that is whoever's there making the creations, I've got one thing in their mind: revenue. All right. Some creators are on there that are not revenue minded, but they're not the ones. They're not the ones.
Yeah, but look, just going back to the search, Luggy.
Yeah, come on.
Right. A lot of people are questioning why Jay went up the road the wrong way.
Right. So let me answer that.
Now, well, can I do it first? And
you go for it. Yes, you know it all. You've got it all. I've given you all.
Right.
Go for it.
And this is the key question that both
I'm just going to make a glass of squash a minute, guys, while he talks to him. One sec.
By the way, Lucky and I have obviously, we run our businesses, and that we were spending 6-7 hours a night talking about things, analysing, cross-referencing, coming up with a plan. Yeah. Now, at the moment Jay went up the road, he had his phone and he had full access to location software. We know that.
But you only had 1%, Chris, no?
No, not at that point. He didn't.
I'm only asking. Sorry.
No. It's a really good question, mate. It's a really good question because this is where the misconceptions come in and the mistaken for facts. It's a really good question that you've come up with, Sherlock. At the point he left the Airbnb, he could possibly have had 20-15%. Yeah, because he then went up the road to the top of the barranco of Juan Lopez, which is where the Mirador is. Now, at the Mirador, there's a gift shop, there's a bar. He knows.
What's the name of that cafe up there?
El Mirador.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So once he would have got there, he's a fit lad. So he's made it up there. He could have made it two ways. Yeah. We've walked both. He would have got there. It took me 30 minutes. It would have took him 20. Yeah. He's a fit lad. He's gone further along to the point where he's come off path, and that's where he's had the call with Brad. At that point, we've pinpointed it. We've been on site. We've used the locational software. He come off piece because he said to Brad in the interview with the ITV, "I don't want to walk all around these mountain roads. I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to go down to the coast."
Now it's the video call, correct?
Correct. Now, listen to what I'm saying now, because I think this could be, and Luggy, correct me if I'm wrong, this could be the technological bit of intelligence that led Jay to his death. At that point on the road, there's a green dot on Google Maps, which is Barranco de Juan Lopez, yeah? That would have given him a safe hiker's track all the way to the beach. The second green dot is the beach, which is Playa de Juan Lopez. And it's signaled on Google as a green umbrella, so it feels really safe, yeah? You're on the beach, green umbrella, you get to the beach, you're safe. If you look at the Google Maps, had you have plotted that map, guess what the next beach along shows? M
Mascot.
MHC Yachting Excursions. Now, if he'd have clicked on Google, at that moment in time, he'd have seen canoes on the beach. He'd have seen a yacht and excursion business on the next beach, and he would have potentially thought that was the safest route for him to safety to go down. And unfortunately, and this is where what everything Luggy has said is so true, once you go too far down there, you cannot get back up. And unfortunately, Jay went a step too far.
Now, the big issue is this. When they stopped the search and they turned around and they said, oh, well, Jay couldn't get down there, and if you did, you couldn't get back up. That's what they said. So the thing is, they knew. They knew that that was the most dangerous area, and they never did it. They never did it on day one. Okay?
So, Luggy, my question to that, sorry,
Go for
is,
it.
if you don't mind me asking.
I don't. Go for it.
Okay, so my question to that, right, my only, and this is just, if he had, so the search dogs that they had out, those search dogs, the Guardians of the ones,
okay, yeah.
smell 3.5 miles, is that not correct?
Sorry, go that again.
Sorry, you know the dogs that when the search teams were originally searching before the search for Jay starts, were they not, those dogs that they use, the Malamars, they are dogs that can sense blood and any other sort of thing up to 3 miles, is that correct?
I'm not sure of the range of their dogs.
But
I wouldn't
it's 50-50.
I couldn't confirm nor deny what their dogs can do.
Now-
I don't know their dogs.
no,
I can tell you something. If dogs could find missing soldiers in a war zone,
I know what you're saying.
there'd be no need for special forces.
No, I agree.
But dogs are a really useful tool, and you have to use them. But they're a tool; they're not a solution. You can use them as a tool, as an indication to guide you whether you're on the right track or not. But they're not a solution.
Apparently, they even used UAV, I hear, as well.
Yes, they had a drone, innit?
No, a UAV, like what you used to see in like the places like Kandahar in Afghanistan, like what flew above.
I don't think they had one of them. I didn't see one of them. Did anyone else see one of them?
No, Kandahar was very different. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The drones in Kandahar.
Yeah, I know what a UAV is, yeah.
No, look, Kandahar. It's like
that's what I said. No, they had
it's
drones
apples
there.
and pears. You're basically you're trying to navigate yourself through very steep mountains where one side of the mountain is very fixed, correct or not, Luggy with your experience, and the other side will crumble as soon as you put a foot wrong.
Yeah, if you look at the way the land lays, okay, you need to understand the geology, which is something I explained to Chris. That is, if you look at the way the geology is made, I think it's done this way. You've got a big lump of tidy sitting over to, if you're looking out to sea, over to your left, you've got tidy, yeah? Out from the mascot of the road that J1 off. Yeah. Are you with me? Hello?
Sorry.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
No more. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot what I was saying again then.
I was going down the right flank and everything was crumbling on the right flank.
Right, about the geology of the place, right? So you got to know the geology, okay? So if you're standing on the road where Jay went off the road looking down towards the V notch, okay, you need to understand what that actually is. So I think this is how it lays, but the land is it's going to be almost impossible to show you here, but I was able to show Chris on video, okay? And Chris totally got what I was trying to say, and that is that you've got layers of volcanic layers, basically, that have been compressed over the years, all right?
And it's very dry.
And eventually they kink and they break. And when they kink and they break, basically one side of your ravine is the surface that used to be flat. It's now kinked up into a hill, into a mountain. But the side opposite to you is usually the breakage point where it slipped. So basically everything on that side is all fragmented. So if you try to climb on that side, That is the most lethal side of a ravine to be on, because that's the fragmented side and not the flat earth side. That you really need to know what I'm talking about in geology.
I know what you're talking about. It's like that sort of broken up dirt, you know, where it's like, and you step on it and it slides. I know exactly.
Take away basically some of it, yeah.
Exactly that. If
And then,
Go on.
and then you get different seasons, don't you? So basically, all that's there. It's all fractured and it's all fissured, right? Every year, then you get water in it through winter and what have you. That freezes and it forces it again. When if it's spring, it comes back up in spring and then it thaws. So it's even more unstable for the first few months of the year. Yeah, until the goats get on it and kick all the unstable stuff down. So it's
that's what they were stating.
any mountains are more unstable as you're coming out of spring, when things are starting to thaw, because any what do you call widowmakers, basically rocks that's going to come down and take you out. They're going to come down earlier in the year than later. Yeah. So this is what you know about geology and terrain, and how to cross the terrain and stuff like that, and what's good, what's bad, what part of the valley should you really be on rather than a bad part. So if you really needed to get through terrain, you really need to understand it, all of it.
Can I ask Luggy? Sorry.
That's because they state clearly in Masca, like certain seasons, they close off the ravines to tourists, don't they?
I didn't realise that. No, I didn't realise, but so they should.
Yeah.
And Luggy, sorry,